Hi, my name is Leilani, and today I'm going to have this conversation with you. I'm going to talk about why we have decided not to use the good and the beautiful with our kids. I'm ready. Now, this video is specifically for the parents that are really struggling with whether or not to use this curriculum. I'm first going to address why we have decided not to use the good and the beautiful. Second, I'm going to talk about the good and the beautiful from a professional level. Now, I am a former public and private school teacher. I am a homeschool evaluator for the state of Florida. I also do testing. I'm also going to talk about other curriculum that you can use out there other than the good and the beautiful. So this video is specifically geared towards those parents that are really struggling with whether or not they should use the good and the beautiful. They hear that it is an amazing curriculum. It crosses all the T's, dots all the I's, and it's just right there in a nice little pretty package that just handed to you. They also may have some religious convictions. Now, I'm gonna be honest, regardless of what people say, what people do, how angry people get, there will always be parents that struggle with the religious aspect of the good and the beautiful, whether it's true, whether it's not, I'm not here to debate religion. I'm just trying to state a fact. There will be people that are struggling with it. If you are struggling with this and you've done the research and you've asked all the questions, if you have a conviction about using the good and the beautiful, simply don't use it. Because if you do use it, you're gonna end up thinking about it all year as you're teaching your kids. And you don't need that. I mean, sometimes we forget there's other stuff out there. We do. And we're homeschoolers. So we actually get that choice to choose what we are doing with our kids. Out of all the curriculum that I have seen within the homeschool movement, all of it, I have never seen a curriculum that has so much hype, so much love, so much hate, so much debate, so much frustration, but so much passion than the good and the beautiful. People love it. Then there's people that hate it. And there's so much drama wrapped around this little tiny curriculum. And it makes a lot of noise. And quite frankly, one of the reasons that we have decided not to use the good, the beautiful is because there is so much drama wrapped around it. And honestly, I don't need that drama in my life. Now, I made a video about a year ago. It was a very last minute, kind of off the cuff kind of video where I bought a curriculum for the good, beautiful. I didn't even know you could get it for free, guys. I just know that everybody talked about how amazing it was, and I was convinced that I needed to use the curriculum because I was obviously missing something that that curriculum had in my homeschool life because it was so amazing. I was convinced, honestly. And so I went ahead and I purchased a hard copy of the curriculum, like I said, not knowing that you could find it free online. Opened it up with full intention that I was going to be using this curriculum with my kids, only to find out that everything in the curriculum I was already teaching my kids with all the other curriculum that I had. The video, like I said, last minute kind of thing, not really that good, but I get a lot of views on it and I get a lot of people responding, stating that they get what I'm saying and they understand the FOMO behind the good and the beautiful. So the video was there to kind of show you, don't fall into that trap. Don't, because I did. But I did take the time now to go in and look at the curriculum itself to see what was being taught. So my first impression, not even first impression, but the ending result impression is academically, the good and the beautiful academically is amazing. It had amazing, vibrant pictures. It taught the kids things very gently. The one thing I really liked about it is they incorporated art within the curriculum, which is a very Charlotte Mason type thought. I wouldn't say that the good and the beautiful is Charlotte Mason. It isn't Charlotte Mason, but it's inspired by Charlotte Mason, meaning that they took little tidbits of Charlotte Mason and put it within the curriculum. I do like the fact that they had some diagramming in there, which a lot of curriculum doesn't teach diagramming to kids. I also liked how it was themed. So the one that I particularly looked at discussed different countries, and it walked you through, parts of Europe, and then the stories that you read were from Europe, and then they would incorporate the questions from the story into the lesson that you were doing, and I thought that was very good that they incorporated the themes. I love that they had a lot of writing in there. They incorporated spelling in there. It just does a very good job academically covering all the basics. So many parents that I have evaluated that love The Good and the Beautiful, their kids are excelling in so many different ways, especially when I tested them, like giving testing, their scores are way up. So yes, academically it's great. But I will say this, there's other curriculum out there that does the same thing, similar to it, different than it. I'm gonna share those with you right now. So you can maybe do some research on those. And of course, the list that I'm giving you is not the full list of curriculum out there. Go to a homeschool convention. You're gonna see the list is very, very long. But let me touch on some of the other ones that I think are great. So if you're looking for free, because The Good and the Beautiful is now available free. If you're looking for free and you're looking for Charlotte Mason, look at Ambleside Online. That is an online curriculum, and it's Charlotte Mason. Just out there, Charlotte Mason. If you're also looking for a curriculum out there that's free, but you're not big on whether or not it's Charlotte Mason, there's another one called Easy Peasy, and that one is solid as well. It's been around forever. You can get everything online, but they also have workbooks that you can purchase. I've seen many kids use that curriculum in homeschool evaluations, and they're thoroughly happy with it. So Easy Peasy, Ambleside Online. If you're looking for like an all-in-one type curriculum, there are two that I would suggest. One is Bookshark and the other one is Sunlight. Those two, same educational approaches, very similar academics. One is secular and one is Christian. Bookshark is secular and Sunlight, S-O-N-L-I-G-H-T, is Christian. Check both of those out. It is going to be all-encompassing. It's going to be thorough. It's going to be actually rigorous but gentle. I love the book list that they have. They're very heavy into reading. I will actually go into their book list and I will pull out specific books for my kids to read because it's a great book list. Another one that I love is My Father's World. Now, that one you just have to do a lot of research on. I've never used My Father's World. I always talk about how amazing it is, but we've never been able to really fit it into our homeschool. My Father's World is going to have pretty much a thematic unit, and it's going to encompass so many different aspects of language arts within it. You will need to also get a math curriculum to go along with it. Some people use Christian Light, some people will use Horizon. Matthew C is another one that they use. But My Father's World is a Christian one, and it is amazing. Of course, I always suggest IEW. IEW is going to be more classical / Charlotte Mason. It's going to be rigorous, but it's not going to be very similar to The Good and the Beautiful. They do incorporate fixed grammar, so you have the grammar with IEW, but IEW is very different. I would say that one's not comparable to The Good and the Beautiful, but it is a very strong curriculum. Don't get me wrong, it's my favorite. What is nice about IEW is you can do thematic units though. I will say that. So if you want to do the Chronicles of Narnia, you can do a whole themed year with language arts on the Chronicles of Narnia. Same with ancient history, Bible heroes, community helpers. Those are with the thematic unit structure and style. Each unit's gonna have a different kind of topic. You may talk about turtles one unit, and the next unit you're talking about Benjamin Franklin, if that makes sense. But IEW is amazing. For math out there's lots of options for math. Like I mentioned, Teaching Textbooks is amazing. That is an online program. You don't have to do any work. It's very parent hands-off. There is Math Mammoth, which is a very rigorous math curriculum, but it's good. It's gonna teach your kids stuff. There's also Matthew C. Matthew C is great for kids with special needs. The only thing that I suggest with Matthew C is if you start with Matthew C, you probably want to finish with Matthew C. You don't want to jump around all over the place because the teaching style of Matthew C is very, very different than pretty much everything else. In fact, I always suggest that if you do Matthew C, that don't worry about your math scores on a standardized test because you're not teaching to a test. You're teaching to the student. You're grouping it by topics like decimals and fractions and percentages. You're not going to do well on a standardized test if you've been doing Matthew C, and that's pretty normal. But once you get into high school, they will be doing much better on standardized tests because they will have learned what they needed to learn through the years. Another math curriculum that is great, Right Start Math. Very hands-on. That one is a little teacher intensive. Saxon Math, great curriculum. Christian Light and Horizons, I feel, are kind of comparable. Christian Light doesn't go all the way up through high school, but it gives you a very solid foundation. Same with Horizons, solid foundation. They're not very dry curriculum at all. Definitely check those out if you're interested in looking for a math curriculum. Like I said, that is just some of the other curriculum that's out there, and the list for curriculum is long, really long. So don't feel like just because your friend says The Good and the Beautiful is really the only way to teach kids. Don't feel like that's the one that you have to do if you have convictions. As always, whenever you're picking out curriculum for your kids and for your family, make sure you're doing a lot of research, make sure you're asking a lot of questions. Because the one thing that you want to know as a parent whenever you're teaching your kids, that you can trust the curriculum that you're using. You don't want to have doubts. You don't want to be second guessing yourself. Of course, if you do second guess yourself, you can always start a new curriculum. That's always an option, an amazing option that we have as homeschool parents. And the most important option that we have as homeschool parents is that we have the freedom to decide how to educate our kids with whatever we choose. That is huge, and it's a huge blessing to have. So take advantage of that, take it prayerfully. I hope this video was helpful for you. Feel free to leave comments down below. I'm ready. And ask me lots of questions. I'm ready. And until then, I'll leave some links down in the description box below and around my face right now, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!